Welcome to Messy Liberation, the podcast that dives deep into feminism, business, and personal growth. I'm Becky Mollenkamp.
And I'm Taina Brown. Get ready for another messy conversation through the eyes of two intersectional feminist coaches.
Let's get messy.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
There's like the real answer, and then there's the let's just keep going answer.
Yeah, let's just keep moving.
Yeah, let's just keep moving answer is I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. Wait, did you guys watch the Super Bowl?
Of course.
Did you watch it with like friends and family or?
Oh no, it was just the three of us. My husband
Okay.
and I. And really, it was just the two of us because my son barely watched. He doesn't care about any of that. Like,
I forgot we're recording.
if it's not
Sorry.
YouTube, my kid doesn't care. He did watch. He kind of was in and out on Bad Bunny. He wanted the Seahawks to win, but I don't know for any real good reason.
You wanted to see what?
The Seahawks to win, which
He's got great taste.
I mean, I feel like I was with the bulk of America rooting against the Patriots, not so much for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Sorry, Patriots fans, but it's kind of like at some point give it to the other guys, and I know it's been a while, but they have the Chiefs stench to them of like, enough already. We can't.
Yeah.
Let's let the other guys win.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. There's also like the owner
Inflate.
or something like donated to the inauguration. Like there's a lot of like
their owner Kraft is horrible.
Yeah. The ex-coach dating that like
wasn't he
20-something-year-old.
He was allegedly the massage guy who was like, anyway, he's just gross. He's done a lot of gross things.
Yeah.
The Brady stench is still there. He goes
for sure.
Trump. So anyway, for all the reasons, yes, I was rooting for Seattle. I didn't really watch the game. I thought it was kind of a boring game, frankly.
It actually was. It was defensively incredibly tight.
Yes, if you like defensive games, it was great. But let's be honest, most people don't like defensive games.
Yeah, you want us to be able to score.
Yeah, and it wasn't that. But let's just be frank. I have a feeling the reason you're asking, and the reason that millions and millions of people watched, was for Benito Bowl, the halftime performance by Bad Bunny. And I don't speak a lick of Spanish. Got hola, de nada, como está. Barely. Right. I can order off of a Mexican menu and know what the foods are. I can be polite with a little bit of like, please and thank you, but I don't speak Spanish. Didn't know a word he said, right? Like, other than when he listed the countries, like that was about it. And I loved it. I am no Jill Zarin from The Housewives who went on to say, where's the white people? I freaking loved every bit of it. Like, other than Lady Gaga, like, it was decidedly not white. There were men humping.
I clocked that real quick. I was like, okay, Benito, I see you.
I know. I mean, it was just, and the more I've sat with it, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, and the more I've read about it, like just the layers and layers and layers. But before we even get into like the storytelling and the layers, no one has ever used that space in that way.
Yeah.
It's like three-dimensional. I mean, there was the time with the like 50 Cent and them or whoever it was and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, when the East Coast or the West Coast Rappers Guild.
It kind of had that building that they went up and down in. But this was an imagining of that space that has never been
very creative.
I mean, I don't know who the artistic director was or whoever. Like, I'm sure so many people went into creating this thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, just even beyond the message, which we'll get into, I'm sure. But like, I was just blown away. Now, I've seen videos from people who were there and they're like, this is what it looked like to us, where you couldn't even see much of anything because everything was happening down inside the hurricane. And like, there's so much stuff that was hidden from them. But let's be honest, there's like, 100,000 people there and there's 100 million people watching. So it's not for you guys in the stands.
Yeah.
You go watch. But for the rest of us, it was just the most spectacular. Like, that was a spectacle. A spectacle.
Yeah.
What was your favorite halftime performance before this one?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
Well, while you consider it, mine was Prince. Far and away.
I don't think I ever saw Prince.
Oh my God, go back and watch it. You've got to go watch it. Amazing. An amazing Super Bowl. He set the bar for me. I really love what Kendrick did last year. I thought it was great. They have been getting better over years, and Prince's wasn't amazing so much for the spectacle, but more because it was Prince.
It's Prince.
The music was amazing. He sang
Yeah.
Purple Rain and it rained. Like it was just amazing. But I tell you, this is now like it has set a like all other performances were like the bar was down here, and this just put it in a stratosphere that I feel sorry for whoever has to go next.
Yeah.
Because again, beyond all the other stuff, just the look of it, the actual like production value, it puts every other performance, even the ones where like I know Katy Perry had like she was doing aerials and Rihanna did some, got up on stuff. But this it was storytelling in a way that we've never seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is by far and away now my favorite halftime
It was incredibly immersive. And I think the fact that it was created for the viewers at home and not for the people in the stands is also a bit of a statement in terms of like who has the kind of money to be able to go and get tickets to a Super Bowl.
We know who's in the room there.
Right. And so, the thing about the white people, Hispanics can be white. There were a lot of white people in that halftime show.
Well,
there weren't a lot of like Caucasian people.
Whatever word
the halftime show, whatever that means. But
well, it was also not very black. There were Afro-Latina. There were Afro-Latina people. It was not, and Kendrick last year, I can't remember now if there were any white dancers or not, but it was a decidedly black performance.
It was mostly black. There were some white dancers, but it was mostly black. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, Jill Zarin's a nutcase. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
But
which she thinks doesn't matter, but or not.
What I saw was all shades from like maybe not the most vanilla, but from like real cafe au lait to like much darker. And it was just it was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. From the very opening, I was like, wait, is that a sugarcane field? Like I just knew what it was.
There were people in them, which was so cool.
Yeah. The Lady Gaga thing. It was an interesting choice, but I'm not mad about it.
I thought it was weird too. I felt like it to me was kind of like a sore thumb. Like why? I mean, Lady Gaga in her own right could be a performer for her halftime,
right,
which is fine. I mean, the people bring in big names all the time. I mean,
like Coldplay
had Beyonce,
and Bruno Mars, yeah.
So it wasn't so much that, but it was sort of like the song she was singing and the way she was trying to move her body. And I don't know much about Lady Gaga. But I think she's Italian, if I'm not mistaken.
She's Italian, yeah.
She didn't strike me as somebody who had necessarily like the salsa in her bones. Like when she was trying to move.
She wasn't doing too bad, I will say. She wasn't doing too bad.
It was subtle, but it was just like it was interesting given everything else about it. I was kind of like, was it because they were demanding some sort of name? And by the way, I did hear, I don't know, because I don't think you speak a lot of Spanish either, right?
I mean, I understand it a lot better than I speak it, that's for sure. Okay.
Because I was reading some analysis and apparently the line either right before or right around that he said from one of his songs, it's from one of his songs, but the line was like, is this what you wanted from me or something? And then it was like, there's Lady Gaga. So it was almost like people who were reading into all of that. It was like the statement, and I don't think anything is by mistake. So it was sort of like this is what you think you want, right? This is what you're expecting, some white lady. All right, fine, I'll give you your white lady.
Yeah, but then she's gonna sing one of her songs as a salsa rendition.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I have to just also clarify, I don't really listen to Bad Bunny's music. Like I'm not. It's not because I don't like it. It's not because I don't like that kind of music. I just.
That's my excuse.
That's part of it.
I really hadn't heard of Bad Bunny until like a year ago. Basically around the time they announced him as the Super Bowl performer last year. Maybe a little before that I'd started to hear rumblings of his name, but I didn't even know who this man was.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard of him years before because he had been on some tracks from some other like reggaeton artists from Puerto Rico. And so I kind of knew he was like in and around the mix. But again, like you, I'm old. I just listen to the music that I already know. And if it's not music that I already know, then it's like what the Spotify playlist curates for me, so which is a lot of like either gamer type of music, which is good to listen to when I'm writing, or like
my son likes. You guys are alike.
Granola music.
My kid loves gamer music.
It's so theatrical. It's perfect for writing, or just like sad music.
I love sad. music.
Oh god,
That's
there's
my
nothing
number
like a
one.
good sad
Oh,
song.
I have a, like, I need to cry. I can't remember what I call it. Something like I need
A
to cry
crying
playlist
playlist.
on whatever, Spotify or Amazon. Yes, I love sad music. It's probably my favorite genre. And
Yeah.
Betty's music, the parts I heard anyway. Of
Yeah.
course, for a Super Bowl performance, you're not gonna do sad music, but they were not sad. It was like move your body kind of
Yeah,
music.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a playlist. I didn't create it, but I found it on Spotify that and I saved it, and it's like sad music to listen to while you're reading fan fiction.
Wow, so specific. I love it. I made a, fuck ice playlist on Spotify, and that felt specific, but it's not as specific as that.
It's perfect because I read a lot of sad fan or angsty and sad fan fiction. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read this. That way I can just cry my eyes out and go to sleep. Anyway, speaking of fanfic, my messy thing um this week is God, I was up till after 8 a.m.
Taina, I mean, how many times? How many times? I mean, I feel like the listeners are rolling their eyes with me going like, "And?" You say it's like this is news, but, like, the number of times we do podcasts where you're like, "I was up until 4, I was up until 5,"
I
whatever.
haven't done this in a long time.
It has been a little bit. A
I
long
haven't done
time
this
is
in a while.
debatable. I think it depends on
Well,
how you
it
define long.
feels like a long time to me.
Okay.
And that's
Well,
relative, I understand.
yes. This
But
is not a first,
actually
is all I'm saying.
the main reason why I was up so late is because I was actually writing last night. And so, like, I signed up for this fest in the fan fiction world. There's like fanfic fest that you can sign up for, and there are spots, and you can pick a prompt, and then it's like it's a whole thing. There's a timeline. You have to write a piece before this due date, and then you submit it, and then it gets revealed, and it's like it's a community thing, right, where everyone's writing around similar themes or whatever. And so I have one that's due in a few weeks that I had started in January, but hadn't looked at it since then, like early January. So I was like, okay, I need to like finish this up. And I had left off with like, I think like 1,700 words. And I finished just before 5 a.m. at like 5,000 words. And I was like, oh, this will be like a 3,000 word fic. And then I wrote 2,500 words of smut. And let me preface this by saying, like, my writing process is really slow. Like, I'm a really slow writer. Like, half the time I'm like staring at my screen. And then the other half the time is like spent actually writing, but also simultaneously like editing while I'm writing, which I know is not what you're supposed to do.
Don't worry about what you're supposed to do.
I just can't help it.
I've never
Especially,
I write very different too. Like I always have, and it drove people crazy in my journalism school. And I'm like, this is the way I have to write. You gotta write the way that works for your brain.
yeah. And so, but I think it's like, it's really hard to just like focus and like hammer something out without stopping. And then when it comes to like writing smut, I enjoy reading smut. I hate writing it. Like, I absolutely hate writing it.
What don't you like about writing it?
It's so technical. Like, where are the hands going? What are they doing with their tongues? How are they supposed to be breathing?
Feels like it shouldn't be technical though. Like that feels like it's the opposite of what the experience is supposed to be like. The
Well, yeah,
experience
when you're reading it, you don't want it, or
I'm
when
saying
you're,
that when you're doing it, it shouldn't feel
yeah, when you're doing
technical.
it, yeah, you don't want
Right.
it to
So
be
it feels like the
technical.
writing should like may not be, but I guess it has to be to make it feel that way, huh?
It has
I've
to be
heard I've
choreographed.
heard actors talk about sex scenes when they do
Yeah,
sex scenes in shows and movies and things and how incredibly technical it is. It's like
yeah,
it's so choreographed of like this
yeah,
to this to
yeah,
that, whatever,
yeah,
to make
yeah.
it look not.
Natural, yeah, because if not, then you like
It's just messy.
it's messy, and then you'll have a reader who like you'll have a scene where they go from like one movement or one configuration to the next, and your reader has no idea how they got there, which interrupts, right, the experience for them. And so I have had to resort to, and I've heard this from other fanfic writers too, to just watching porn to like figure out how to like choreograph something, which I'm not opposed to. I have no qualms about watching porn, but like, I,
This may be too personal, but I know porn in many parts of the country anyway, it's getting harder to access, which I personally think
mm,
is fantastic. Not because I'm anti-porn, but because I think the internet has made it way too accessible for people who shouldn't be watching things like my child. Not that that's happened, but and the kinds of porn that you can see
Yeah.
and the things, given everything we've seen with Epstein, given the things that we know people are out there doing, like, I think there needs to be some barriers to entry.
Yeah,
However,
for
I know it's
sure.
gotten more challenging for people because you have to like prove identity and all kinds of things. And a lot of people are like, I don't really want my ID associated with
Yeah.
your site. But anyway, I know that there are also some like feminist porn sites and things too. So I'm
Mhm.
just curious if you're just hitting the internet and doing the regular stuff and if you're able to access that, or if you're doing like feminist kind of porn sites. You don't have to
I'm
share.
not. I'm not. And here's the reason. I don't watch porn enough to invest in, like,
Yeah,
a feminist
I get
take
it. They're not
on porn.
inexpensive.
Yeah, they're not inexpensive, which they shouldn't be. I don't think that they should be
Oh,
inexpensive.
because that's if you want to pay people like
Right. It's
we're not.
sex work. People should get
Yes,
paid well for it. But people should
right.
get paid well for everything. Sex work, not excluded from that. And so, but because I don't really watch porn regularly, um, and I'm really just looking for like quick scenes that I can
Yeah.
watch and customize to my liking to fit like what I'm working on.
You could
Uh,
record yourselves.
no,
Nobody
no,
wants
we absolutely cannot.
to watch themselves. Like,
We
I've never
absolutely cannot.
understood people who are like, "I don't get it." I'm like, "Why would you wanna watch?" Anyway, maybe
But
that's just me.
yeah, no, no,
Well, we gotta be
that's
careful
not
because
my
I had
thing.
a video taken down on YouTube for too much talk about these topics, even though there was nothing remotely explicit. So, YouTube, we're watching you, and I know that you are playing
Just
games.
censoring us. Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
And yet the stuff that we're talking about, you can find that stuff everywhere, but talking
Very
about
easily.
it
Very
yeah.
easily. I literally have like at least 3 or 4 tabs open with like different porn clips or whatever. Like if my wife were to come across it, she would definitely get the wrong idea. And I mean, I would be hard pressed to convince her it's for research. She wouldn't buy
Are
it for a
you writing sex scenes that tend to be sapphic or not? Or is it more hetero sex? Like, what are
It's
you
more
writing?
hetero. It's more hetero.
Interesting.
I haven't
That's why, because that might give her the wrong that idea of like
I mean, she knows I'm attracted to men. That's not news to her.
but if all your porn is hetero, at some point that might raise some maybe not.
Yeah.
Then again, 'cause how many women straight, quote unquote, straight women watch nothing but lesbian porn, so
And there
yeah.
are a lot of straight women who watch gay porn too. Like it's a
That's true.
thing. I mean, that's why Heated Rivalry is as
I
popular
mean,
as it is.
listen, I I mean, yeah, that's 2 people that's an experience I will never have, can't have, and I found it very
I
hot.
wish I could have it.
I mean, sure. And that should but also I feel like it was to be fair to the show, I don't think they're watching it. I hope people aren't watching it only for the sex. It was also really
No, it was
emotional.
also really, yeah.
I feel like a big
So
part of it for me, the appeal for straight women is the idea that there are men who can be emotional.
who can
And like
yearn like that?
right,
Yeah.
I think women who are attracted to men against our better judgment are often just like, "Please tell me that there are men that are able to like I just don't
Feel.
think straight men understand, yeah, that heterosexual women, like, we want that, and we want an emotional man, like, that's not a bad thing. Look, I mean,
Yeah.
look, again, I think that popularity of that is a big part of the proof of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that was off
Yeah.
topic.
No, no, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. It's off topic but related. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, I got through the smut scene. I haven't quite dived into non-hetero scenes yet, but I do plan on doing that. But then like
Who's
after
Hermione gonna have sex with?
who do you think?
Are you still writing only Harry Potter fanfic?
Yeah, yeah. I can't I don't have the emotional or mental bandwidth to venture into another fandom. Like
Interesting.
the way I've been hyper fixated on Harry Potter fanfic, like I will ruin my life if I
I just
try.
would think at some point you would get like, okay, I feel like we've explored every configuration, every scenario. Like, wouldn't it be time to move on to
No, no,
or
there's
something
so
like that?
much. There's hundreds of thousands of already published
It's just amazing. It's amazing.
Hermione plus Draco fanfic. Just that pairing.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands. Anyway, so after I finished the scene, which I'm actually quite proud of, I can't wait for people to read it. I was on a Discord server and someone was recommending this fic, and I was like, just take a quick peek at the first chapter to see if I like it. And I just like kept reading until I finished it. That's why I was up till 8. And by then I was like, I mean, I knew this, but it's also just like fresh because I'm just like, I have a fucking problem. Like, I just cannot say no to myself sometimes. Like, and aside of,
Even while you know you're actively making a bad decision, especially around,
yes,
I can relate to this so hardcore, Taina, and I don't know what that is. Because I will lay there and I'll be like, I know that if I just set my phone down and it's the discomfort, I think is what it is. Because like I'll be like, I know if I just put all this away, I could lay there until eventually I would fall asleep. But I can't stand the just laying there until I eventually fall asleep. And
yeah.
so then I keep making choices that I know are not great choices, to be sitting here reading something or playing something or
Mhm.
whatever it is I'm doing. Last night I was working on my book, so similar to you. And like kept thinking, okay, just stop, go to sleep. Like I was I didn't feel good. I felt tired and I'm like, why am I torturing myself this way? But then I'm like, but I'm so excited about this thing I'm doing. I don't want to stop. And it's like, it'll
Yeah.
still be there in the morning, but
Yeah.
why do we do this?
I don't know. I didn't want to stop writing halfway through the smut scene because I feel like
Yeah,
with
but
writing in general, like once you hit a stride, like you kind of don't want to stop because you don't want to lose that. But
yeah,
I think especially for me anyway, when it comes to writing something like smut, it's like if I stop halfway through and be like, oh, I'll just pick it back up tomorrow, lost, completely lost. Like
it's kind
there's
of like,
no way.
it's like sex itself. You can't just be like,
Yeah.
well, put a pin in this and come back to it.
Yes, exactly. No, then it's a whole new experience. And
Yeah,
I
but
feel like
why the
I have to start
reading though?
over.
You could have put a pin on the reading.
I
What
could have
made you?
put a pin on the
Oh,
reading. I could have. It was an epistolary fic, which I am just a sucker for.
what's that?
Letters. It's told through letters.
Oh, I should know that, but I didn't.
And so I just couldn't help myself. And I, like I said at the beginning, like I haven't quite done this for me, it feels like in a long time. So I feel like I'm making some progress, but I feel like there's a part of me that's like, almost like my inner child is like, no, I'm going to stay up as fucking late as I want and just do whatever I want, you know? Like
Mhm.
there's like
I
that
get that. Yeah.
spiteful, rebellious side of myself
What do
that
they call that?
just,
Like revenge insomnia? It's not the right word. There's some term for that where you stay
I've heard
awake.
that.
Yeah. And I definitely do it. And it's like we shoot yourself in the foot because you're sort
Mm-hmm.
of like, it's that fuck you, I won't do what you tell me kind of
Mm-hmm.
feeling. Except the person you're saying, the person you're harming in the fuck
Is
you is
yourself.
you. And it's like,
Yeah.
I've felt it way more since having a kid. And I think that is because I feel like I don't get much time. Like, it doesn't feel like I have enough time that's my time. And so,
Mm.
like, at night when my kid's asleep, I'm like, well, this can be my time. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to be tired. Like, what am I doing? And yet I'm still like, fuck you, I want some time. And then I'm like,
It's
the next
my
morning,
time. Nobody can take it away from me.
my kid's up at 6, and I'm like, why the fuck did I do that to
Yeah.
myself?
You will
Yeah.
pry my time away from my cold, hard, dead hands, whatever.
Which, by the way, staying up all that time is going to make that cold
Yes.
dead
Come
hands come
faster.
slow.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also a part of me that I think maybe it's a little bit of FOMO. They're so like, I just want to keep reading. Like, I just want to keep consuming the stories. Like, there's so many good stories out there that a part of me is like, "Oh, I wish I had more time in the day to just read more." Like, I just want to just keep reading because it's so good. And it's such I don't know, it just, for people who love reading, like,
I understand. I feel the same way. I've been consuming so many books. I feel like it also in things like crafts or hobbies or
mm,
projects. I think when you get into them, it's like, oh, this feels so good. And then when you get a stretch of time, like sometimes on like this last weekend, my dog had an injury, and I'm currently also, for anyone watching, I'll show real quickly. There she
poor
is.
baby.
She's in her little space, confined space. So I'm sitting here with her. I remove one of the sides and sit right next to her and pet her most of the time, which is so
Mhm.
sad. And my body is so sore from sitting on the ground and laying on the ground. But anyway, I've been sort of stuck in this little area, and I've had a lot more time to do things like crafting, like doing some of my embroidery projects or working on my book, or just things that excite me, reading. And when you have a stretch where you get to do like a lot of that and feel like a permission slip to
Mm,
not be working and stuff, you get a taste of that sweet, sweet life, and you start going like, oh, like, what would it take to make this my reality?
Yeah.
And there's
How
the
can I be a
math.
lady of leisure?
Exactly, but we live inside of capitalism, and I can't like, there is that those are the moments where I understand the appeal of, if I could just amass wealth, then I would be able to do this is what my life could look like all the
Mhm.
time. I don't want to I don't want to hoard wealth, but I do understand, like, it sure would be nice to not have
Mhm.
to do the stuff that feels more like labor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's a bit of escapism that I think in some ways is healthy, but obviously there's a line before it becomes unhealthy. So, I mean, all that to say, outside of just keeping my phone in another room, which I don't I usually read off my phone. I've started to most nights keep my iPad in another room because I usually read on my iPad, but my iPad and my iPhone are connected to the cloud. So I have the same EPUBs, the same access on my phone that I do on my iPad. So outside of keeping my phone in another room as well, which I just don't see myself doing because
I either.
that's
I
where
know they say to do that, but
that's where I have like my alarms, like my sleeping playlist, like there's too many other things on it that I need by my bedside. Like I'm just reluctant to do the self-parenting work that it
could be
takes
that
to
you're not giving yourself the permission to do enough of this stuff during quote unquote working hours. And that if you gave yourself more permission in those times, then you wouldn't feel like you have to do it late at night.
Becky, I started writing last night at 9 p.m.
Yeah, why are you writing? Why is it all happening so late? Is that just what works for you, or
because I have to take frequent breaks during the day. So, like, even if I try to write while it's still light out, there's just too many daytime responsibilities, right? Like, there's like emails, there's meals, there's errands, there's doctor's appointments. Like, so it's not really conducive to like allowing myself to just kind of get into that creative mindset. Because, so again, like I sat down to write at 9. It usually takes me at least an hour or two to like actually start writing because the process is looking over what I've already written, thinking through, like just getting lost in my head about like where it's going, doing a little bit of research. Like it takes me that long to just shift my brain from like one mood to the other. So if I try to do that during the day, then that feels like a lot of time wasted, a lot of productive time wasted.
well, then you just have to schedule time for sleep during the day. I don't know, because you can't go without sleep.
Yeah, I can't for sure. I can't. And I do take naps occasionally during the day when I need to, when I don't feel rested enough or if I'm not feeling well. Yeah. You know what? I think the bottom line for me right now is just I just really hate that I'm just not able to give my attention to the things that I really want to give my attention to.
Yeah, it just sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. I hate that we're forced to labor and toil inside of a
Mhm.
system that doesn't reward the majority of the people who labor and toil adequately.
Well, and that we only deem certain things worthy of recompense, right? Like
Yes. Yeah.
the stuff it's not that you're not what you're doing in the evening is also labor. It just
Mhm.
isn't in the way of it doesn't feel good, like you're not what brings you joy. And yet the reality is it's just not a space that's going to pay money, make you big money. Like you don't get rich writing fanfic from what I
Mhm.
understand.
You can't make
It,
any money off of it. It's
yeah.
illegal.
You could but eventually transition into writing your own stuff that could, but the truth is being a rich author is not it's not
Most authors
easy.
are not rich.
Right. The J.K. Rowling's the billionaire authors. That's like 3, maybe like, I don't know,
Mhm.
Stephen King and J.K. Rowling. And I mean, maybe there's Michael Crichton. I don't know. But like that's a rarefied air. And they
Mhm.
have to option it to make movies and all like there's just so much that goes into that. And that is the funnel towards that. Like there's just people like
Yeah.
all the way. There's people who make no
Yeah.
money is down here, the biggest part of that funnel. And then the ones that actually make lots of money is very small. So like, but the thing that's annoying about it is not only does it bring you joy, it brings other people joy to read it, right? And so that's hard. It's like, why can't the things that bring us joy,
Why can't that be
my
enough?
yeah, my embroidery stuff, like it's silly. I dismiss it as being silly, but it brings me joy. Like it's a hand project. It's something I create something by the end of it. I just made a keychain. I can't. It's oh wait, hold on. For people looking on the phone. So I went to a miniature now, and this was like I did it all by myself without a pattern or anything. Let me see if I can
Oh
get
my
this.
gosh, that's
My
so
little
cute.
my little bee. It's tiny. It's a little tiny embroidery thing. But anyway,
Mhm.
so like it's a cute little thing. It gives me something to do. I enjoy it. It's great. But I could give them away to people. I don't wanna monetize it, right?
Yeah.
And yet, like, I'm gonna have all this shit that because I'm making it, like, what am I gonna do with it? So I would be thrilled to give things like that away or whatever, and that feels like it's still valid work, right?
Mhm.
Like, if it's something that when I share it, people say like, it gives them an emotional reaction, even if it's a blip of just, like, a little moment in the
Mhm.
day of like, "Oh,
Mhm.
that's cute," or, "Oh, I like that," or, "Oh, that's nice." Or if you give it to somebody, but why do I have to monetize it in order for that work to feel valid? Like, even myself, I still dismiss it of like, oh, that's a little silly thing I do. And kind of like,
Mhm.
I'm sure to some degree how you feel about writing fanfic. It's like, well, this thing I do
Mhm.
because it's quote unquote hobby. It doesn't pay, so it's not real. And we have to stuff it into our days somewhere because we
Yeah.
have to do the stuff that is quote unquote real. But the stuff still brings joy to people.
Yeah.
Like joy should be something that should be like compensated. I don't know. I saw something. Where was it? Somewhere in Europe. Was it Finland? Norway? There was somewhere where there had to be one of those that part of the world because they're the most progressive folks in
Yeah.
the planet.
The Nordic countries.
Yeah. And they're doing some sort of like artist program basically where they're just going to pay artists to just create art.
Mm.
That's it. Like they just get to create their art all day and have a living wage. Have enough money to survive. Like I'm
Mhm.
not expecting to get rich, but it sure would be nice if the things I enjoy doing could
Mhm.
like not have to fall into the other hours, right? Or I have to justify them.
Yeah.
And people say like these things also are important and valid and bring joy
Mhm.
to other people or whatever. Anyway, I might be rambling, but I don't know, it's frustrating that the
Yeah.
way we ourselves set up feels
Yeah.
so it feels inhumane.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely yeah, it is. It's definitely not set up everyone to be able to thrive in the way that is best suited for them. Like it's set up to, you know, certain small number of people, super wealthy and completely in power. Um, yeah. So, well, fuck.
Well, I'll piggyback on that in a way with my mess. And if my husband listens to this, I love you. And not a but. So as I said, my dog, she has we think she has some sort of I don't remember the official diagnosis, but basically like a slip disc that she's a
Mhm.
long bodied dog. We think she's probably part dachshund, possibly. She's definitely a terrier or something, but we think maybe dachshund. So she's a long bodied
Mhm.
dog. Long bodied dogs often end up having back issues. We didn't
Mhm.
know what she when we got her as a puppy at the shelter. If I'd known she was going to be a long body dog, I might have thought twice because I've never wanted a dachshund for that reason because they're notorious for having really bad back problems that can be exceptionally expensive.
Mhm.
She's not even 4. So this is a
No.
baby. She suddenly started having really bad back pain and I had to take her. I'll cut through all of it, but I was in the emergency vet from 2 in the morning until 7 in the morning
Mhm.
one night and then had to go to the neurology, the pet neurology people opened up just to see her. Amazing humans. Like
Mhm.
talk about people who don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
working in veterinary care do not get paid nearly enough for because and I understand it because it's so hard to justify like, oh my God, when they're talking to me about a $9,000 surgery for my dog, I'm like, but what? Like, I don't
Mhm. Mhm.
where does that come from? I mean, I would do anything because my son has had enough losses in the last year. I will do anything to prevent him from having to have this
Mhm.
loss. I would mortgage the house to the tilt. I would get another credit card. I'll do whatever I have to do, right? So I was like, if I got to pay the 9,000, I guess I'm paying the 9,000.
Mhm.
Thankfully, we're gonna be able to handle it through medication. So she's got like a slip disc thing. All these people are amazing. Before I get to the husband part, I do want to say just on the care work at the emergency vet, the coolest experience was that place it's a wild place. You're in the heart of it. Like they don't put you in a waiting room. They bring you
Mhm.
back into the space. I watched 2 different surgeries, one dog with
Mm.
like the broken leg or something that they set while I was there, and another one that had gotten into a fight and had like a abscess on its face that they had to here. I saw all the dogs doing all the things. It was just wild.
Mhm.
Kinda cool because my phone was, like, almost dead, so I couldn't sit on my phone. I was there for 5 hours with my dog just sitting in a chair, And so I was just watching everything going on. I was like, why didn't I bring my embroidery stuff? But they had so many people working, probably 7, and this was the middle of the night.
Yeah.
All of them were women. All of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, we've been there.
It was also pretty queer coded, which was awesome. I mean, they had a
Mhm.
whole lot of like rainbow stuff going on. Many of the people working there presented as visibly queer. I was like, and I commented, the one woman came over and I was like, it's all women. She's like, yeah, we have a lot of women here that work here. We do have some men, but I said, well, I love it. I was like, I feel like it was amazing what it did to my nervous system. Like, I know the difference. Being in that space and recognizing there are no men working here, I'm not going to have a
Your
male
body
doctor,
knows.
come up and question me or talk down to me or be cold,
Yeah.
and like everyone was caring, everyone was kind. The doctor got on the floor with my dog and with me, and like I cried, of course, and like everyone, they just couldn't have been nicer. It's not to say that a man can't do that, but my body knew, right? I think we talked about this before too, where our bodies, like it's amazing what that difference is, where you're like, I feel safe in this space. It goes a long way when you're at a spot in your life where you're emotionally challenged. So I was so grateful. Anyway, she said something about, well, this is a pretty woman dominated industry. I was like, yeah, it's because you guys do care work, which we don't pay for in America. And she was like, well, you said it. And I was like, yup. So anyway, that was cool. So my dog has needed a lot of I believe my dog has needed a lot of attention, right? She is confined to a small space while she's healing. She's not allowed, I have to pick her up, take her out to go to the bathroom, set her down. She's not allowed to go up and down off of anything. She's not supposed to be doing much walking. She doesn't want to, even if she could, because she's in pain.
Yeah.
She is a very active dog normally. She is a young dog. She is a very affectionate dog. So I am projecting, but I am believing, because I believe dogs have feelings. I believe that dogs, experience emotions. And so I believe that this is probably very hard for her this time. This has got to be a really hard time. Like, thinking of myself, if I were in that same position, couldn't leave the bed basically for like we've been told at least 2 weeks. It might even be a month of having almost no mood. So 2 weeks for sure. She's like minimum 2 weeks of having to just lay in bed, having people having to take care of you, right? And being a dog, you can't even scroll my phone, So I am feeling a lot of empathy for this dog. My husband, who I love dearly, does not he's not wired in that same way. Like he comes and he says hi and love you and he pets her and all that. But he's also perfectly content to let her just be in her crate or in her confined area. Go do something. We'll leave her home. It's kind of like this. She can't do anything. Where's she going to go? What's she going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on this board of like, I don't want to leave her more than 15 minutes if I don't have to. Like, I take my son to school, I come back, and I'm right back here with her. I'm sitting by her, I'm petting her, I'm playing music, classical music for her. I put the AKC dog show on for her to watch when she's a little more alert. Like, I am in it, and he is wired so differently, and I just feel like it's given me that reminder of care work and emotional labor and how it tends to fall on women. And I don't because of how we are conditioned and or just if you are a person who has more estrogen in your body, if that or less testosterone, if that makes a difference in the emotional side of you, I don't know all, for sure. But whatever it is, I just know that we tend to assign care work more towards women and or women on more of that work in our homes with our but also with down to like with pets, and that it doesn't seem to be valued. Again, I love you, hubby. I don't think he sees this time because he had made a couple comments like, well, you're just laying around, right? And I am, but I am working while I'm with her, or I'm doing when I'm with her.
Yeah.
But I also feel like the emotional drain and strain that I've had over these last few days.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when I was taking her to her appointments at one point thinking she was paralyzed and like worrying about, again, $9,000.
Yeah.
Did she even make it? Are we going to have to put her down? The amount of crying I did over 48 hours. And then since then, the amount of just like feeling her pain and being with her. I'm a empath. I just am. And I can't change that about myself. And I don't feel like that should be like, I think that I would love for it to be seen as more of a gift for people who are wired that way and not like a detriment. And I love my partner. We are wired a little differently in these things.
Yeah.
There is a real difference on who does the work and how it's valued, right? Like to see that I'm carrying an emotional load. And I think in my husband's mind, he's not So if I am, it's almost like it's my choice that I am.
Mm.
And so that's on you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's trying hard. Again, he's trying very
Yeah.
hard to understand. He tries to, even if he can't understand, he's trying to show up correctly.
Yeah.
Right. And be like, I get it. It's fine. Whatever. But I know that in there is still all his own conditioning and messaging around, like, she's making those choices. She's doing it because she wants to, whatever. So it's just been really, it's been really hard. And for me to navigate it myself of like canceling a few appointments and work, stuff, modifying my schedule and some of the guilt that's coming up around that. But then also being like, but you know what? I want to honor that that I am an empath and that is a beautiful thing in so many ways.
Yeah.
And I notice my own internal battles with that of like the world around me doesn't feel like it necessarily appreciates that about me.
Yeah.
And it feels hard to appreciate it in myself. So
Yeah.
that's been the last few days.
Yeah. I know. When you texted me, I was like, gosh, I hope Hazel is going to be okay. Because one, like when you have a pet, like it's hard to see them suffer, like they're a part of your family and you want them to be well. And, as you know, like we had to put both our dogs down last year. And I think after a while, you forget that you will outlive your dogs, that they don't, or your pets in general, that they don't live as long as you do.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're going to live them. They're not.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
this kind of lifespan. So
Yeah, their lifespan is shorter, and I think that kind of gets forgotten. And so
it gets real forgotten when you get a new pet because you're so caught up in the excitement and the cuteness and all of that. And then at some point you realize, like in these moments, you realize I voluntarily chose
to put
grief.
myself through this suffering. Yes.
Yeah, because you are choosing to grieve when you get a pet, unless you, for some reason, go before them, which let's hope not, right? I mean, again, you want them to go before you because you want to live a longer life than a pet should.
But you also don't want to lose them.
Exactly. But it's like, this is the only part of our lives where we actively choose
grief. Yeah.
Choose grief, to introduce grief into our lives.
Yeah.
Like, yep, I'm signing up for that. I'm signing up for this death. Like, it's awful.
It is. It is. And the way that you care for Hazel, actually, it reminds me a lot of Mello. And so I love, yeah, I loved our dogs so much, but she, as my ability to like care for other people and creatures like has diminished over the past few years, like she definitely took on the role of like the primary caretaker of the dogs. And she is way more sensitive than I am. And so she's just has like a highly sensitive personality. So every little thing, she was always wanting to take the dogs to the vets. And there were like, and I'm the person and I'm like, oh, they'll live. It'll be okay.
My husband's like, let's give it a day. Or even could we give it 6 hours? Let's
just wait and see.
Same with my son. It's the same with my son. It's less so now as he gets older and can communicate. But when he was a baby, which is a similar experience to a dog where they can't communicate with you. And so I used to be the same way when he was a baby. Every sniffle, I'm like, oh my God, we have to go. Let's go to the ER. And he'd be like, slow your roll. Let's give it a few hours. Let's check. And my mind is always like, you just don't want to spend the money, right? And part of it, is that,
part
but
of
also
true because it's fucking expensive.
Right. Healthcare for animals and or humans is outrageous.
Yeah.
So and I think, but part of it is also he just is a little more, I don't want to say sane than me, but he's wired differently.
He's less anxious.
He's less guided by emotions. He's more guided by logic and reason. Not that he's not is able to be emotional, and he loves on. I know he loves this dog. I see it. He shows it. Same with our kid. But he is also able to, he can, in those moments when he is feeling emotional, he's able to sort of set it aside in a way that I struggle to do. Yeah. Where I'm like, the emotions take over and they are guiding everything. Like,
Melo's like that.
Yeah.
Her anxiety is just, it would get off the charts. And at that point, it became less about caring for the dogs on my end and more about caring for her and making sure that like her emotions were tended to and that she wasn't like on the brink of spiraling out over something that we didn't even know if it was real or not. And so
this is good. Thank you for providing this perspective because I can, again, centering myself as we tend to do in our own experiences of life.
It's our show. We can do that.
Yeah. Well, no, in our own, like in my own life, I'm centering myself in this this relationship with my husband and I in this moment and thinking, my labor is going unnoticed or uncared for. And at the same time, I'm hearing what you're saying. And he is, I should say probably, he's carrying a different emotional labor than mine. His is managing me. And I'm not giving any credit towards that. And that is valid too. That is valid work that he's had, because he does have to do a lot of that. There is a lot of calming me down, listening to my rants. The amount of texts he's gotten from me in the last 2 days while he's at work is probably like overwhelming to him. So I need to honor that yes, I am carrying an emotional weight, but he is too. It just looks different. And I think it's because my story is he should be carrying the same emotional weight I am, right? Like his emotional burden right now should look the same as mine because that's the one I'm feeling so acutely that I can see that his looks different, but it's also there. So,
he also has a different relationship with Hazel than you do.
Yeah, but that's true. And in this case, I would say, like, I honestly fully honor the fact that he loves her. Like, and I see them, even though from the beginning he was like, I don't want a dog. And he's like, I don't get this dog out of here. Yeah. There came a moment when we had a come to Jesus moment where I was like, you need to stop because your son now loves this dog. Yeah. So we're not getting rid of this dog. So I said, unless you want to like break your son's heart, you need to get over this and start figuring out how to love the dog. And it changed everything. And the dog was maybe 6 months old or something at that point. He had a few months of being grumpy about it. Since then, I mean, these two, he's the one who throws the frisbee for her. Every day when he comes home, she jumps up on him, is so excited. They have a whole little song and dance thing they do. Like, I know there's no amount of me saying he doesn't care about her or even as much as I care about her. It's just that his responses are different. He's also able to sort of put the caring here in this box, but also have this other box where he's like, and let me do the logical reasoning around the doctor said she's going to be okay. She needs her rest. Me sitting by her isn't going to change anything. She just needs the rest, whatever. Like he can be more logical where I'm like, I only have the one box, which is
You also spend more time with her because you work from home.
I do. That is true more than anyone else in our family. I do. But have you seen Inside Out 2?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, you and Mello need to see it because I saw it and almost cried. Like I had tears in my eyes. And I loved the first one. And it was so great with a child. It was so helpful when he was little to help him be able to name emotions and talk about what was going on. So great. I can't say enough about how much I love that movie. Also, Soul, because of grief and death, has been incredibly helpful in our family as well with my son. But Inside Out 1 was great, but it was the basic like 5 emotions. Yeah. Inside Out 2 adds these new emotions, but the thing that I love is it has this depiction of anxiety. So the major emotion along at this, and because it's sort of this girl who's like a tween becoming a teen. And so anxiety becomes this like whole new thing that hadn't experienced before and introduced into her hormonal system and whatever. I have never seen, and I know it's a cartoon, but I have never seen a better representation of what exists inside of my head. Like I was watching, I feel like I get emotional now. I'm like, I validated. I feel so seen. I feel like if somebody ever wants to know what is anxiety like or why is this, like when my husband can't quite get it and doesn't understand the emotional takeover and the panic and the worry and I'm like, just watch that movie because that is literally what it feels like. The scene where anxiety takes over the control pad. So like there's this the thing controlling what emotions in control at the moment. I was like, oh my God, that is what it feels like in my life. Like that's 95% of my existence is just that part of like that being at the controls and what that's like and how hard it is. But what I love too is it does a great job of helping to explain why it's not all bad and like that it's in its own way, it's trying to protect you and help you. Right. Just that sometimes it goes too far. It doesn't do it in the healthiest ways. It's just such a beautiful representation of anxiety. So Mello should watch it and you should watch it. And then you two could talk about, I would love to hear what Mello thinks of it because I was just like telling my son, like I was almost crying. I was like, buddy, that's what mom goes. That's my life. That's because he knows I have anxiety and that's what it feels like. It was just so nice for him to be able to see that and to be able to understand me. All right, well, I'm going to walk away from today, by the way, as much as I don't like it. Sometimes you don't like it's helpful to have somebody help you see something in a different way. And then also I'm like, fuck you. Now I have to be like, all right, my husband is carrying some emotional labor here, but it is helpful to have that repositioning or that reframing of that. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I am gonna
You
walk
don't have to
away.
walk away.
I need to. I feel like I need to just self-parent a little bit better.
Yeah, I think we just need to find ways to better honor that our quote unquote hobbies or non-paying things
Mm-hmm.
deserve more prominent space or better protection in our lives.
Yeah.
Because by
Yeah.
by pushing it to the very end of the night, like I get all the reasons that you're saying it happens, and yet it's not really honoring it for yourself. So like, what
Yeah.
does it look like? What changes can you find? What can you do to make it something that you're honoring more? Because you're not honoring it for yourself by making it something that you push off to the evening and then it comes at the expense of your health.
Yeah. 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 I haven't been to my writing group, my in-person writing group in
that's
a few
right.
weeks because it's been too fucking cold to leave the house, but it's starting to
Really?
warm up a little bit. So I think once I can get back to like doing that on a weekly basis, that'll definitely help.
Get back to that. All right. All right. Well, everyone have a lovely February.
Thanks for listening to Messy Liberation.
Thank you so much for your support and for listening today.
Until next time.